Welcome to the Spring Equinox Inspiration Summit. Today we have as a guest Treva Brandon Scharf. She is an ICF certified life coach, a dating expert, a fitness pro, a writer, and marriage first timer at 51 with over 35 years in the fitness business and many more in the singles world. Treva knows firsthand how to achieve peak performance in love and life. Treva writes about self-empowerment, surviving singledom, and finding love later in life at her blog, The Late Blooming Bride. She contributes to Huffington Post, Hollywood Progressive, Ariana Huffington's Thrive Global, Relationship Development and Transformation, Midlife Boulevard, Medium, and several other places. Treva is an in-demand speaker for conferences, panels, online summits, and podcasts. As a post-50s influencer, she's a voice for strong, independent women. Her personal mantra and coaching philosophy builds confidence, resiliency, and self-worth. Treva currently hosts the podcast Done Being Single with her husband, Robbie. Well, I know you and I will have a lot in common because I actually found love later in life and got married later in life as well. All right, Treva, it's so nice to meet you finally in person. So tell me a little bit about I'm curious about your blog and Love After 50 and what you do with clients. Like, just kind of dive in. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Okay, so I am, oh my gosh, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go in the way back machine. I am a lifelong athlete. I'm a writer. Originally, I'm a copywriter. I got my start in advertising. And I am what I thought was a confirmed bachelorette. I thought I was, as hard as I tried. At first, I didn't want to. At first, I wasn't in a hurry, and then I was. And then I thought, oh my God, I'm cursed. I will never get married. No one wants to marry me. I'm not marriage material. And in the meantime, I had left advertising and gotten into fitness full time. I became a fitness professional and a group fitness instructor and personal trainer. And I was doing that and being single and kind of striking out everywhere. And I got into my 40s. So I got through my 20s and 30s, not really wanting to get married then. I just couldn't. The thought of settling down with one person was just, I couldn't deal with it. I hit my 40s, my biological clock went off. And that's when the shit hit the fan. And I don't know, there was just, my dating pool was filled with separated and divorced guys. And I was just, it was hit and miss and start and stop. And then when I got to when I got into my wit's end, literally when I just said, that's enough, I'm throwing in the towel, I'm waving the white flag, I met Robbie. And when I met Robbie, we got engaged. And shortly after we got engaged, so I met him 6 months later, we got engaged. Shortly after that, I started my blog called The Late Blooming Bride. The blog started off with just kind of, isn't this crazy? Me, first time bride at 51, haha. It was hilarious to me because brides are usually in their 20s.
Yeah.
And so I thought there was a lot of material there, and there was. And my husband, Robbie, was also a marriage first timer, and he was 57 when we got married. So I just thought, this is a really great story. So I started to blog about it. And then the blog kind of went from wedding plans and wedding stuff and marriage stuff into advice, into dating advice, because I am not a relationship expert. And I'm certainly not a marriage expert at all. I'm still learning. This is on the job training. But I know everything there is to dating and being single. And I was getting tons of feedback, and people wanted to know, how did I do it? How did I survive? How did I conquer? And that's where the blog kind of took me into more dating advice writing. And about, I don't know how many, about 3 years ago, someone at Voice America contacted me and asked me if I wanted to turn the blog into a podcast. So I said, yeah, I'd love to do that if I can bring my husband and we can do it together and have this sort of fun couples, podcast about two marriage first timers in their 50s, giving advice and talking about all things single life and finding love later in life. And we called it Done Being Single. And we still do it. And about a year or two ago, I started kind of shifting away from the fitness business, which I loved, and it was very gratifying for me. And I kind of started parlaying that or transitioning into life coaching. So I went from kind of fitness coaching to life coaching. And here we are, 6 years into our marriage. And I'm a professional life coach. And I think because I come from a fitness background, I bring different things to my practice, to my life coaching. You talked about resilience and empowerment and self-worth. And I've learned so much from my life as a fitness coach and just being a lifelong athlete. And so much of that carries over into dating, discipline, and knowing your value and your worth, and pushing and fighting and digging deep and facing your fears and all that shit that we're taught as athletes and that I share as a coach. I bring that to my life coaching world.
That's beautiful.
So I think are you up to speed? I think you are.
I actually completely resonate. I actually feel like I have almost the same story as you. And like, I feel like us older, I actually used to lead a love manifestation program because I felt like I knew everything about dating and being single. And I actually think here's like a little bit of advice to single people, to single women, to actually wait. There's no rush to get married, because to wait to become your highest and best self, to work out those aspects of yourself that need to be shipshape, like whether you are needy or certain unmet needs aren't met. Like, I think personally that is the most important thing, to resolve those things, because even though we're trying to find a partner who will meet those needs, subconsciously we don't consciously know that, but subconsciously we really are, the person will never 100% meet the needs, probably not even 50%. It might appear that on the outside, but not on the inside.
No, that's it's a little easier said than done. Try telling that to the woman in her late 30s whose clock is just, banging. It's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. Even harder a pill to swallow is telling someone, you may never, there's a chance that, I was absolutely certain I was not going to meet anyone. I'd gotten to that age. I was about to turn 50 and I thought, nobody's going to want me. And I better get my head around that. And I better make peace with that as fast as possible, because there's a good chance I may never meet anybody. And I may be single for the rest of my life. And that's got to be okay.
So do you think that was a lot of the turning point on you meeting your partner?
Absolutely. And by the way, I didn't know what was wrong. Up until meeting him, I started to do some deep inner work, because I'm a seeker. And I got to the point where I thought, this is, I'm having too many disappointments. And this is really brutal on my poor self-worth, just dating. And it was so counterproductive. It felt like I'm being forced to do something I really don't like doing, because it's really having a negative effect on my self-worth and my self-esteem. It was a weird kind of catch-22. It's like, you got to do it in order to meet someone, but doing it makes you feel worse sometimes, because it just chips away at your self-worth.
Yeah.
And so I had already, the work had already been in progress, but then I met Robbie. And then when I started writing about stuff, I because I'm a seeker, and because I'm sort of I'm a bit of a nerd in terms of like a personal growth junkie, a personal development junkie.
Yeah.
I started learning all of this stuff about attachment theory and
Mm.
the 5 love languages.
Mhm.
That stuff, man, that just, and the Stoic philosophies,
Yeah.
mind blower.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
oh my God. And that is when I realized, yeah, it was kind of good that I waited.
Yeah.
You could not have told me that back then. I would have been like, I am not waiting. Yeah. So you can't really tell somebody that if they're not ready to hear it, and nobody wants to hear it.
Yeah.
I remember going to a psychic. She was a pendulum swinger.
Huh? I have one.
Talking about,
I have
so
one.
she came super highly recommended, and I said, when am I going to get married? She swung the pendulum, and then I don't know. So she asked me another question. She said, probably not until your late 40s. I'm not seeing anything going on until your late 40s. And I was crestfallen. I was crushed. And I remember saying to her, "You are so irresponsible." I remember sort of admonishing the psychic because I thought that was so irresponsible of her to tell me that. She broke my heart, but guess what? It was true. So there are all kinds of possible life paths. I will say, having waited, not that I wanted to, but a combination of both. Yeah, you know what? It all kind of turned out in the end, and I got to know myself. Um, so I knew who I was and what I had before I walked down that aisle. And to me, that is everything.
Mhm.
And God bless you if you can find that out in your 20s. I didn't know who
Mhm.
the hell I was in my 20s.
Mhm.
And most of my 30s, I just did not know.
Me
So,
neither.
some people find love and get married and have kids at that age. And I guess that's when you're supposed to do it. But for me, I guess this was the master plan. And so yeah, now looking back on it, I can say I'm happy it turned out this way. There are a few things I'm sort of regretful. I didn't have kids. So, that, although I tried.
Did you at 51 you tried?
No, I tried on my own at 43.
Wow.
When
That's
it was clear I'm like, oh God, there's no one on the horizon. I don't know. I mean, I could get married at any age, right? But you can't have kids at any age. So I just went, fuck, I'm gonna go try to get pregnant. So I tried to knock myself up, and I spent
so what
a
did you learn from that lesson? Because I think that's so many women's biggest fear is not having a child.
okay, what did I learn? Shit, where do I begin?
Well, after you kind of healed from that pain and loss of not, because I'm sure when you're in it, it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But you
Um,
see now, like,
I can tell you, well, let's see. I'm glad I did it. I'm so glad I did it. I wasn't successful, but at least I can say I tried. And it
Mhm.
kind of takes the edge off of that feeling like, oh, darn, I should have tried.
Mhm.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I totally went for it. I moved mountains. I moved heaven and earth. I drained my savings. I put my body through hell. I did all the fertility shit, and I wasn't successful, but it changed me. It changed me in such good ways. I mean, I was not the
Tell
same
me.
person after that. Really, that was my midlife crisis.
Yeah, I get it.
Some people have an affair or buy fancy cars. No, I try to get pregnant
Yeah.
because it really changed everything about how I dated, what I was looking for, how I valued myself. Oh my gosh, it changed the entire landscape of my dating life.
Yeah, I sort of feel like for every major hardship or something we really want that we don't get, there's kind of a life lesson for us that will, like you're saying, help us to grow and evolve.
For sure.
Is there one in particular that stands out for you?
Well, that was a huge game changer and life changer. Getting married, of course, I am not only have I've been single all my life, I'm an only child
Mm,
and hadn't even cohabitated with anyone.
mm,
So I didn't live with Robbie before we got married.
Mhm.
And that's been a mind blower to,
Mhm.
I mean, and my dad moved out at a very young age, so I don't
Mm.
really have any experience with the male species. And so
Mm.
this whole thing with like, whoa, you burp and fart and scratch your balls. What are you?
That's so funny.
You're so
Wow.
strange. What a strange creature you are.
I totally understand what you're talking about. Same thing. Um, so, well, first of all, I actually had a baby at 47. So I understand a lot of the journey you went through on that wanting a child. But I just want to really appreciate you because you've done so much inner work to, just like looking at you, people would be like, what? That, it's almost unapparent. And I'm a psychic, so I could see people very deeply. And so I get to see the level of inner work that you've done. And I get to see what an amazing coach you must be because of who you are and because of how deeply you could see people.
I say this all the time. I have all this experience and insight and wisdom I wish I did not have. Do you get it?
I totally get that.
I have gone through such hell. I have had navigated the world on my own all
Yeah.
these years. I've had my heart broken. I, I've had, I mean, I can't even tell you, but oh, and then I just lost both parents last year in 1 year within 4 months of each other.
Oh,
So I have all of this now new experience that I truly believe, and you're picking up on it, and thank you, um, that I bring to my practice.
mm,
Because there are plenty of dating coaches out there or life coaches that can sit from wherever they sit and give you advice and tell you the paths to take. And, show me someone who's been in the trenches for 50 plus years, show me someone who's walked the walk.
I
And I,
completely
yeah,
agree.
and I kind of feel like all that pain and suffering, I guess, I don't know. It's it I never thought I'd say this, but I guess it paid off in some strange way.
I think the same thing of myself. So I probably more than anybody you talk to completely understand finding love for the first time ever in my life at age 44. I get it.
Yes, so you get it. So you know
Yeah.
how you know from a personal experience, from your own
Yeah.
personal experience, from your own failures and your own achievements and your victories and your triumphs. You are so well qualified to advise and guide people, and I kind of feel that is I feel very proud of that about myself. It
Yeah.
really adds depth and a
Yeah.
lot of texture to
Yeah.
be able to say to a client, I know what you're going through. I've been
Totally. I know.
there a million times.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Any of those elements of shame or being on the outside or something's wrong with you or you're not enough or those qualities that make you unlovable, I get it.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, so tell me more about your how about we think of a practice to share with people? So a lot of the speakers have been sharing a particular practice that they have in their coaching practice with the audience that they could take away with. So has anything come to mind, like maybe when you're working with your ideal client or typical client, some exercise or practice you might give them? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here.
That's okay. Okay. So I have been I'm really big on finding your greatness.
Mm.
Like that's everything.
Hmm.
And what's great about it is that everybody has greatness.
Yes.
So you just got to access it. Everybody has that thing that makes them just a fucking awesome person. So my job is to connect you, is to help you locate that,
Yeah.
find it, connect with it, bring it out, and then
Yeah.
start practicing the hell out of it. Um, there's something I do with myself, and I practice everything I preach. I practice. I'm just going to tell you right now,
Yeah.
and that is really connecting with your self worth at all times. And I mean, have it right in your pocket, like accessible, right there. Your self worth,
Mhm.
everything you are, everything you've got, knowing what you got. That's so important. That just gives you so much, so much, I don't know what the word is. Empowerment, but it's not empowerment. It's something else that I find is just an incredible kind of tool to have it all by your side at all times. So when you're in conflict, when you are down, when you are alone, when you're feeling hopeless, when you are feeling dark and you know um, that never things are never going to get better, you have to be able to go inside and think what about the things that you're proud of, the things that you love about yourself. Find one little thing and then go with it. Take that and keep it close to you. That's what I would call the thing that's not unfuckwithable. Unfuckwithable
Mm-hmm.
thing. Um, every day. And if you doubt what you've got, and if you feel like your self worth is kind of could use boosting or strengthening, every day do something that you're proud of, a little something that makes you feel proud of yourself, that gives you a tiny sense of accomplishment, like a little small win, a little tiny victory, something that you can at the end of the day or during the day pat yourself on the back and go, oh my gosh, I got that. And to me, that's the winning quality. We just Robbie and I just did an episode of Done Being Single, um, that was kind of based on the it factor and what that is. What is that thing, that it factor that makes people winners or makes people stand out? Or in business terms, the guest we had on our show was Sunil Gupta, who is an author and professor, and he wrote a book called, hold on, and I will tell you, Backable: The Surprising Truth Behind What Makes People Take a Chance on You. And he says about it on the show, he said, what moves people isn't charisma, it's conviction.
Mm.
Okay. Backable. So what we call in dating the it factor, he in business terms calls it backable. Who are you going to back? Who are you going to give your money to? Who are you going to invest in? What startups are you going to support? In dating, who are you going to go on a date with? Who are you going to pick? Who are you going to swipe right on? So he says, and it's not charisma, and it's not charm, and it's not looks as we would think it is, right? No, what moves people isn't charisma, it's conviction. Backable people take the time to convince themselves first. Then they simply let that conviction shine through whatever style feels most natural. If you want to convince others, you must convince yourself first. And to me, that was the essence of dating. And it's the essence of job seeking or looking for anything, accomplishing anything, is having conviction more than looks, more than charisma, more than charm, more than, a great body or whatever, right? It's having conviction in yourself. And that is no easy task. So, as we talk about what exercises or takeaways I can give the viewers right now, this takes practice. This takes some soul searching. This is going to take some time to go, wait a minute, I'm pretty gosh darn great.
Mm-hmm.
I have that. I have conviction in myself first. And that's where it begins. And when you're in doubt, I'm telling you, you got to just get quiet for a second. And I mean, really quiet. And remember, go, wait a second, time out. I know what I got. And it's pretty great.
I agree with that. And I also think about that in the law of attraction terms, that it's like what you're pitting out is what the universe is getting back. And one of the main things I learned in my journey is I was pitting out this like, okay, come date me, but I'm unlovable, I'm unwanted, I'm dorky too. Like subconsciously, I was pitting out that message. I wasn't pitting out the conviction that I was great. It took me, quite some time to realize, wow, I actually am great. I might be single. I might not have, whatever, the looks, the money, the whatever it is as other
Yeah.
people have. It doesn't matter because I am me and I have that.
It's like, again, sometimes people find it early in life, at
Yeah.
an early age.
I
Sometimes
know. Yeah.
it takes a while,
Yeah.
but come on, everybody has some greatness inside them.
I
My
agree.
job is to pull it out and show it to you. And to me, the client that gets the best results, and I say this all the time, there are a few indicators. The first one is whether you're training with me as a fitness client or working with me as a life coaching client, you have to have a burning desire to want that thing. Burning desire, single-minded desire to want to change or grow or transform. Um, you got to be completely committed to it. And then second, you have to be a little pain tolerant. You got to have a little tolerance, a little threshold for pain, or at least discomfort, because as we know, growth doesn't happen,
Right.
without a little,
I get it.
right?
Yeah.
So that helps. And then third, self-worth. The people that get results are the ones that have this much self-worth, even just a tiny bit, so that they go, I deserve to have a great body or a great love or a great job or a great life. I find those indicators are like recipe for success.
Mm.
And I wanted to say something to you. You mentioned something about having to remind yourself that during those dark days when you were single and kind of hopeless and sad. Not every day you're going to feel like Superwoman. In fact, I spent all of 2020 feeling like just a weak piece of shit. Not, I talk a big game here because this is what I do. And this is ultimately who I am. But let me tell you something. I was tested. Losing two parents during a pandemic year, really, man, that it just brought me to my knees. So no, I didn't know my greatness every day. But that didn't stop me from doing something tiny, getting out of bed. I'm telling you, do something every day that's going to give you a sense of pride, because that you connect with that, and that's your power source. So for me, I had to lower the bar. So like, I got out of bed today. I took a shower.
Wow. I'm just really appreciating right now your sense of not only vulnerability, but your sense of being in your truth. Because a lot of people, when they get down or depressed, we want to cave and hide, which you might have had that time as well. But everything you've said is so in alignment with your truth from your heart. This entire talk, you've been speaking from your heart. And I think that's powerful. That's powerful in a leader and a coach.
Because I lived it.
Yeah.
And I don't
bullshit. But you may be like me back in my 30s. I'll just speak for myself. I was unable to access my truth, my voice. First of all, I didn't even know what it was. And second of all, the whole courage to actually speak it. Those are just really evolved qualities.
I don't know, man. I'm so self-taught. I lacked mentoring growing up. I was a latchkey child. I can only tell you that I learned survival skills, and that's what I give my clients. And I have them. And I wish I had someone like me talking to me when I was younger, because I didn't have a effing clue, but now I do. So it's not, again, you're not going to feel, triumphant every day of life. And I will also say the same feelings I had losing my parents were remarkably similar to how I felt after a breakup. Like, shockingly similar. That feeling of being bereft, that feeling of losing and never getting the boyfriend back. I went right back to those places. So
what did you do when you were there?
Back when I was single.
That feeling.
Oh, Jesus.
How did you
Um,
move through it?
really, it triggered a ton of anxiety because that's what would happen. More than like sobbing and crying, I would get beyond anxious during a breakup or after a breakup. And I felt those same buttons getting pushed after I lost my parents. It was this strange, like all those attachment issues, of like not abandonment, but I guess abandonment, rejection, abandonment. Um, they were all just like,
Yeah. So did you incorporate any tools or your resiliency? How did you get back to where you are now?
um, that is a great question. I'm going to say that like I said, I practice what I preach. I slogged through most of 2020 every day. I forced myself to get up and get out and exercise. I mean, I'm an athlete. It was like, what is happening to me? It's the last thing I want to do. I'm so apathetic, and I forced myself to move. Um, I meditated like crazy. Um, I do a 10-minute, just a real quick kind of like a power meditation that grounds me in the morning that I find to be extremely cathartic and therapeutic, and recentering and regrounding and re-empowering. Um, I was honest. I hired a grief therapist in the beginning. I took help wherever I could get it, from friends, from family, from my husband. I just faced it. I went head on into it because that's how I am.
Well, I love that. Well, I actually kind of want to end on a positive note.
Yeah. Oh, I would also say, you know what? Time is a great thing, man. It does heal. It does. When you don't give up hope on time, as you said in the beginning, time is your friend. It kind of delivers you to your best self.
Oh,
As in this case, time helped me. It definitely helped me heal.
yeah. Oh. So I know you have two amazing gifts. Would you like to share about those?
Well, yes. In fact, we were talking about the meditation.
Yes.
So I don't remember my exact name for it. Maybe you do. My 10-minute, what is it? What's my meditation called?
Yeah, 10 minutes to greatness meditation and incorporates breathing exercises, forgiveness, work, affirmations, and guided visualization, all designed to bring out your greatness.
Yes, it works. I'm telling you, I know, like I know it works because I do it. And you will get incredible results if you practice it. And I just lay it out. It's literally step by step. There's probably like 10 steps. It's super easy, and you'll commit it to memory, and it's like you'll become second nature. You don't
Great.
need music, you don't need an app, you don't need anything. You personalize it. It's totally customized to your needs, what you need to accomplish. It's my secret weapon. Okay.
Awesome. I can't wait to try it. That sounds wonderful.
The second gift, Treva's 16 tough love tips to get over your ex, heal your heart, and become a badass again. Breakup tips, rather. These are my breakup tips. Are my tricks of the trade. I've been through so many breakups, and I have it down, and I hope I'm never having to use those tips again. But they are test driven, personally curated, and guaranteed to work. They will heal your heart, and you will become a badass again.
That's
And where to
awesome.
find me?
Mhm.
My website is trevabrandonsharf.com, my name. And then you can also follow me on social media at TrevaBme.
I love that. Thank you, Treva, so much for your time and your wisdom.
So my pleasure. I can't even tell you. I've so enjoyed this. Thank you